Chapter 19, Demon Sect R. With a soft exclamation, Zhang Xiaofan woke up from his dream, breathing heavily in the darkness, feeling drenched in cold sweat from head to toe. These past few days, ever since the day he heard about Puz from Fashi, it seemed like Zhang Xiaofan had suddenly started dreaming about the nightmare of his childhood again. That scene of the village massacre, deeply engraved in his heart, flooded back to him as if it wanted to engulf him entirely. The burning stick still lay beside him, and he could still feel the familiar coolness emanating from it, as if everything was just like before. However, after that, Zhang Xiaofan also felt that the peculiar artifact bound to his right arm seemed to emit a warmth opposite to that of the burning stick, seeping into his body. He suddenly felt suffocated, curling up in the darkness where no one could see him. Who knows? Even those who hold to many secrets, are they also tired like this? In the darkness, while others slept soundly, disciples were always on night watch outside the stone cave, so everyone felt at ease, listening to their calm and familiar breathing. Zhang Xiaofan drifted into a trance. In the distance, that faint, tenor voice, even in his dreams, seemed to carry her own gentleness, faintly audible. Despite the darkness obscuring his view, Zhang Xiaofan felt like he could see clearly. The beautiful woman smiled, sweetly falling asleep in the serene night. But who exactly was she dreaming of? He reached out, gently grasping the burning stick, bringing it to his chest, holding it tightly as if it was the only thing that could accompany him faithfully. In a daze, he suddenly remembered that pair of fox demons who faced death calmly. If it were me, would I have the courage to die with my beloved? He pondered quietly in the dark night. As the sun rose in the east and the sea breeze blew gently, it was a clear and sunny day. Several disciples from Dezhu Peak left their living quarters in the stone cave, wielding their magical treasures, flying towards the depths of Liubo Mountain, carefully searching, hoping to find remnants of the demon sect. Pialinger took the lead, amber vermilion shimmering brightly as she flew at the forefront, followed closely by Song Darren and He Dazi, while Du Bishu and Zhang Xiaofan flew at the back. Among these disciples, except for Song Darren, who wielded the fairy sword 10 tigers, others used either the vermilion or the precious pen. There were even more peculiar and humorous artifacts like dice and burning sticks. In a sect where almost everyone used fairy swords, these stood out conspicuously. However, Liubo Mountain was not Qingyun Mountain. Besides the members of the demon sect, there were dozens of other righteous sects with various magical treasures, making them less prominent. But during idle moments, disciples of various righteous sects would privately discuss and critique each other's artifacts. Some experts pointed out that among all the artifacts on Liubo Mountain, the most peculiar one was the dice artifact of a certain disciple of Dezhu Peak, while the most rustic one happened to be the burning stick artifact of another disciple of Dezhu Peak. It showed the Qingyun Sect was indeed full of talented individuals, not to be underestimated. I wonder how Tiabai would feel if he heard such comments. At this moment, disciples from various righteous sects flew in groups of 3 to 5, darting around. The wind whistled on Liubo Mountain, and various colored lights flickered and passed by, quite a sight to behold. Zhang Xiaofan looked around from his magical treasure and saw righteous sect disciples flying in a fan-shaped formation in all directions. Among his group, several dozen feet away on the right were solely female disciples from Shaoju Peak. Lush foliage brushed their robes as they flew, with Luzweki flying among them. Her robes billowed, hair fluttering. Her cold and beautiful face seemed transcendent amidst the serene night. Zhang Xiaofan's heart stirred, not daring to look more. He turned to the other side, only to see a group of disciples from Longshu Peak, about 60 or 70 feet away. Chahao and Lin Jingyu were among them. At this moment, Lin Jingyu glanced over, smiled, and waved. Zhang Xiaofan smiled back. Behind the disciples of Longshu Peak, there was another group, the remaining disciples of Chaoyang Peak. At this moment, Tialinger suddenly let out a clear whistle in front. Zhang Xiaofan looked ahead and saw Tialinger grasp her magical treasure, and the amber vermilion light shimmered. With a whoosh, she soared into the sky, moving several times faster. Song Darren was startled, knowing his junior sister was impulsive. With such a rare opportunity outside Qingyun Mountain, where there were fewer constraints, she often enjoyed flying freely. So Ryu was quite worried about her during these days, reminding Song Darren several times to keep an eye on her before they left today. But Tianlinger grew up in everyone's favor since childhood, and Song Darren wouldn't scold her. How could he keep an eye on her? Helpless, he had to accelerate himself and catch up. Zhang Xiaofan, Hidazi, and others naturally propelled their magical treasures, closely following. In the blink of an eye, they distanced themselves from the disciples of Longshu Peak and Shaoju Peak. Zhang Xiaofan sped up and caught up with Tianlinger, flying alongside her about a dozen feet away. He secretly glanced at her, seeing Tianlinger's smiling face, her excitement, and today's red outfit complemented by the amber vermilion. She looked even more beautiful. In the cold wind, the joyful laughter of Tianlinger reached Zhang Xiaofan's ears, warming his heart. Young junior brother. Suddenly, Song Darren's voice came from the side. Zhang Xiaofan quickly turned around. What's the matter, senior brother? Song Darren smiled as he controlled his giant sword. Young junior brother, I didn't expect you to progress in Dao techniques so quickly. In such a short time, you've reached this level. Zhang Xiaofan felt grateful. Senior brother, it's all thanks to your guidance. Song Darren shook his head and smiled. I dare not take credit. Just now, your flying speed was faster than mine, as well as Old Zan's and Old Blue's. Only then did Zhang Xiaofan realize that he had hurried to catch up with Tianlinger when he saw her flying fast earlier. He hadn't noticed the others beside him. However, seeing Song Darren and Hidazi flying calmly behind him, they probably weren't slower than him at all. Zhang Xiaofan blushed and said halfway through, senior brother, I. Before he could finish, Tianlinger turned her head, beaming, even more delighted when she saw Zhang Xiaofan. She exclaimed, Xiaofan, isn't flying like this comfortable? Look at how high the sky is, and how blue it is. Zhang Xiaofan turned his head and took a deep breath, smiling. The sky was clear, endlessly blue, truly refreshing. But how could it compare to the smile of a beloved woman's smile from the heart? Tianlinger led the way, her hair flying in the wind. Under the vast sky and among the towering ancient trees, she seemed like the most beautiful fairy, dancing gracefully in this secluded world, where every leaf seemed to be filled with smiles and faint cheers. That figure, like lightning, like light, adhered to the giant trees' bodies, seeming extremely dangerous yet carrying a gentle charm, sliding past gently without any touch. That figure, so infatuated, so intoxicated, reminiscent of youth and joyous laughter echoing amidst the green mountains and rivers, reverberating. He suddenly felt carefree, laughing and letting go, the burning stick emitting a bluish light, carrying him, chasing her, soaring in this ancient and tranquil forest, as if this moment, this time, would never end.